Hi, I'm Neil MacDonald. My friends call me Macca. People say, why do you join a running club? And the why for me was all about wanting to do something on my 50th birthday that was a milestone in my life. And I got it in my head that I wanted to run the London Marathon. Now, bear in mind, when I decided this, I was not a runner. Didn't even own a pair of training shoes, but decided that this was a great idea a year ahead of my 50th birthday that I would do this. So I asked my brother, who used to run with Kettering Harriers, how do I do it? How do I even join a running club? Would they even take somebody like me? He said, yes, of course. Speak to somebody at your local, find out where your local running club is, and go and ask them how you join and how you can get into a marathon. So I trotted up to our old base at the public school in Wellingborough just over 10 years ago. Spoke to Alan and a couple of other guys there when I first met them, and said, I'd like to join because I want to do a marathon, ideally the one this year, which they all laughed at. Said, you realise how hard it is to get into a marathon? That was before marathons were very popular. Obviously I found out very quickly that it wasn't quite as straightforward as I thought. I couldn't just make an entry fee, but I was very lucky that I met a gentleman at the club who had been awarded a charity place or gained a charity place, but through injury sadly couldn't take up that place, and he asked if I carried on with the fundraising, if I would take the place for him, and it was for Headway in Wellingborough. I gladly did that, entered the marathon on, ironically, the day of my 50th birthday, 23rd of April, and was very fortunate to enjoy the whole experience with not only myself, family, but other members of the club who had also entered the marathon or won places in the marathon through other means. That one brief excursion into marathon running and a year of running with the club led me to become totally dedicated to running, to run marathons not only at London but all around the world, and too many half marathons and other events to mention. And as of this Christmas, my partner Jess was very kind to put together this collection of my 5 London medals. There's one missing there from one year, but I'm hoping that I will have a new London Marathon medal at some point in the future, and if not, then a medal of a different kind for another event may well go in there. So there you go, there's the motivation and the reason I joined Wellingborough and District Athletics Club to run a marathon. And I have to say, my life never really looked back from that point onwards, and the support and help of all the people at the club, the coaches and the friends I've made, have made me a dedicated marathon runner and somebody who now running forms a very big part of my life. So that's the why for me.